try to exemplify optimism. This is what we try to do. And with Allah's help, we're going to keep doing it. Newsmakers. PT vehicle, well, that's a torpedo patrol boat. Don't worry about that. That's a small boat that can sink aircraft carriers. PT boat like PT-109 and stuff like that. But they could actually sink aircraft carriers. Of course, they're going to get blown out of water 92% of the time, but so send 50 of them with an aircraft carrier in. Just crank them off the line. Send them after them aircraft carriers, right? So the Japanese should have did, then they wouldn't have had all that trouble over there. They just didn't do it. Can anybody look up on their thing, hit them where they ain't? It's called, it's Douglas MacArthur, I guess you can. Hit them where they ain't. Okay. As-Sabiqun Liberation Organization, As-Sabiqun Liberation Movement. And we'll close with hit them where they ain't. But does anybody know what that means though? I'll just tell you just in case it don't come up. You can put Douglas MacArthur at the end of it if it shows, if it don't show.
Yeah, because it's showing somebody else.
What does it say?
I'm going to put Douglas MacArthur. This says just, it was the practical application of this system of warfare to avoid the frontal attack with its terrible loss of life, to bypass Japanese strong points, yes, isolate their armies and starve them.
Starve them to death.
Yeah.
No, that's sufficient. Mm-hmm. This is what it was. See, not that I watch all this military stuff, but look, MacArthur, they sent him to Australia when he got away on them speedboats from Corregidor. Doug, they called it. So anyway, when he got over there, he wanted an army and he didn't have one. So it took him a while to put a piece together. From Australia, he started his I shall return stuff. And he was going up against these Japanese, and they was mowing down people, man. People throwing down their guns and running, because the Japanese, of course, was pretty tough fellas. So MacArthur, believe it or not, MacArthur didn't turn in high casualties. Out of all the generals, they got Patton, they got this guys, he did not turn in high casualties. He turned in the lowest casualties. That was the main reason. Hit them where they ain't. They all right here? Go around them. I'm not gonna, you want me to sit right here and just go right? There they are. New Caledonia, Marshall Islands. So, hit them where they ain't. I'm going to hit them here, here, here. Take all of this, and then I'm going up top and choke them. Cut them off from all supplies. That's what he did. Hit them where they ain't. It's kind of like our little stuff. Hit them where they ain't. This boy has been thoroughly whipped already. the little stuff we do getting around, that's already something. He thought we was gonna stay here isolated and cut off and just put out 2, 3 days. No. We're gonna put out thousands, we're gonna want thousands more credit. So in the next few weeks, actually next week, we could try to go out to Springfield, that's Springfield out there by Dallas Airport, all Dallas. We just go out there for the heck of it. But we're gonna go everywhere. And when we go back to California, everybody here will be aware of everything. We will have told and retold and resold and resold all of this stuff over and over and over again. And we'll tell them, just like we're telling them now. You want to do that? Go ahead and do it, right there in front of everybody. Everybody's looking, go ahead. So if they do it, it don't make no difference because we'll come back with something else and get them a little later. It does make a difference. Hit them where they ain't. We've already busted them up wide open. They are not, they think the government is almost decades behind on some things and way ahead on the other. We taking advantage of where they're behind. They had lulled themselves to sleep on the movement. We got it covered. Everybody's in our back pocket, everybody. And the little niggers running around will choke them off. That's what they thought. That ain't what's happening. That is not what's happening. So we had to take advantage of it when we did and how we did. Nonviolent resistance. Nonviolent resistance. We're not going to allow no idiot to beat us upside the head and then throw all of our victory away. Heck no. It's a victory. You just have to be able to take it. Now, that ain't no joke. Because in the hospital, well, even 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I mean, I was just not a vegetable or anything like that. But what I had to do was think and think and think, but not be able to do nothing. Boy, that's pretty good for you. Think and think and think, and you're going to sit there and you're thinking and thinking because your brain is working. Right? Your brain is working, but your body won't. You cannot put a sentence together. I told my daughter, you're too trusting, too trusting. That's all I could say. You're too trusting. You're too trusting. They trust the system. They're not bad, they're good. They're wonderful, I couldn't ask for a better crew. But they trust the system too much. They trust that if we help, they won't kill my dad. This is what Fatima says. She says what she means. If you was that treacherous, Dad, they'd kill you. Well, how the hell won't trust treacherous you want me to get? Hell, I'm on every, right? What the hell do you want? What are you talking about? But that's what they tell them. They tell your family all the stuff they want to hear. We ain't gonna hurt him. We just gonna scare him. We just gonna do this. And in the meantime, y'all can do all of this stuff you want. So it's innocent. That's what they tell them. Right? We know what they tell them. Why? Because they told the same dumb thing to everybody else. Right? That's right. So we don't. Let me clear up something. We don't dislike anybody, including this mean old white man. We dislike his behavior. And we got a big job. Has anybody ever watched any of them Civil War or Vietnam or World War I stuff? Human beings psychologically messed up. If you had good leaders, maybe it was the Kaiser or whoever got him into World War I, Archduke Ferdinand. And they got World War I, 50 million people dead. Forget the animals. Look at the horses and all the deer, everything they killed, they just be slaughtered. This man has to be stopped. You have to find a way to make him better. If you don't, you're through. That's all. It ain't no miracle. If we don't fix the bum, and he don't want to be fixed, he's suicidal. It's $1 more over there, $1 more. Just $1 more, I'll get it. Right?
Yeah.
Or he want to arrange everything, but it comes through his way. Yeah. Global redesign for the 21st century, but I want to redesign it all to kind of come our way. See what I mean? And those bums up there at the top, they will do it. They're doing it now.
Out in the open.
Out in the open. So, only thing I'm saying to us here and to the dear brothers and sisters as we close, we have to get serious now. We can't promise you nothing, but we sure are going to do what we can. We're going to do everything we can to put a stop to this bum. To show him you don't have to have everything to be somebody. Now, I know it ain't easy. This is kind of like that over the rainbow stuff. Blue skies, same story I heard in a lullaby. This sounds like a lullaby. Tell the truth. Put little kids to sleep on this stuff. Because most people going to say, oh boy, that ain't going to happen. It's not real. But now, which one do you want to go after? You want to write in your book what you want to write, or you want to go by their book, what they write? Their book is nasty. Their book is mean. You remember the thing on Chosin? Mm-hmm. Did you see that? Mm-hmm. The guys was frozen with their arms and legs sticking up in the air. Hey, man, it was like that in the Civil War, you know, when they first used it. People, man, just laid out all over the battlefield. That's what this is all about. That's really what, technically, that's what this is all about. We believe that there's a better chance for good. But the only thing we got to do is tasqiyah bil nas. Not that that's that easy. Purification of the self. Everybody knows that. Or in this large scheme of things, governmental apparatuses that help control a little bit, not dictatorial, but help manage and control the things a little bit. Now it's out of hand. So that's why we ask Allah to help us with this endeavor. We don't want to hurt nobody. We ain't going to hurt nobody. Not knowing it, we ain't going to hurt nobody. So we're going to use optimism. Are there any questions or comments? Any questions or comments? Okay, alhamdulillah. What was you looking through in your book?
No, I picked this book up, American Mania.
Right.
And just so happened, reading on the way here, it just happens to mention that in America, the central, that's talking about America's mania, and because of its greed and aspirations for material possession, it's created this mania in America. Okay, so that's the premise. So this guy, I just happened to read this coming over here, says, in America, the central message is that each of us is free to write their own story. And that just reminded me of what you've been telling us. And, you know.
A brother just got on. He asked, this is Mohammed Abidi, he asked, any advice to the youth?
Yes, it'll be more personal, but the youth, you have the Quran, you have the Hadith, you have history before you, right? So you have Quran, you have Hadith, you have history, and you have, so if you're young, you haven't had as much experience. But inside of each one of us, we know the difference between right and wrong. Never sell your akhirah for this world. Never sell your akhirah, the next world, for this world. It don't matter what the price, what the cost, or what the offer is. You have to remember, this system can't give you nothing unless they can take the same thing away from you. So if they can take it away, why are you going to accept it anyway? Now, personally, the government can't take nothing, absolutely nothing from me. And guess what? They can't give me nothing. There ain't nothing they can give me to feel as good as I feel. That would be my advice to the youth. Basically, is do what's right. You know what right, the difference between right and wrong. Are you willing to pay the price for it, though? That's all. You're going to pay the price for it, right and wrong. This may be the time anyway. You know, I don't know how this stuff is going. This may be the last go-round, you know, right? It has that smell and that taste. That if we don't do that now, this may be it. Are there any more questions or comments?
I guess another brother asked, Desmond Champion, he asked, do you have any Islamic businesses?
No. No, we don't. So if that's it, thank you very much. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم.